If you're like most parents we see, you've probably tried everything from behavior modification to occupational therapy, from dietary changes to calming techniques, yet your child's struggles continue. We see countless families who were exhausted from dealing with their child's constant tantrums, sensory meltdowns, and behavioral changes, but seem to come out of nowhere. And even when their child could only wear certain clothes, had extreme reactions to everyday sounds, or struggled with anxiety that makes simple activities feel impossible, it wasn't their fault. It's much deeper than them just acting out. Here's a statistic that might shock you. 1 in 6 children in the United States have been diagnosed with a developmental disability, and up to 40% of children now suffer from at least one chronic illness. Most doctors are missing the real root cause behind these struggles. What if your child's behavioral challenges, sensory issues, and health problems aren't separate issues at all, but signs of one underlying problem that can be finally addressed? This video is for all of the exhausted parents out there whose children struggle with behavioral challenges, sensory processing issues, anxiety, or chronic health problems, and who are ready to understand real neurological root causes that most doctors never address. We're diving deep into how the nervous system dysregulation is the hidden thread connecting most childhood challenges. You'll discover why traditional approaches often fall short and how addressing this foundational imbalance can transform your child's health, behavior, and ability to thrive naturally. Let me tell you about our friend Tierney, whose story might sound heartbreakingly familiar. Before finding neurologically focused chiropractic care, Tierney had extreme sensory processing challenges where she could only wear a couple of really loose dresses that didn't rub against her skin. Seams, fabrics, eyeglasses, and even shoes were so overwhelming to her that it turned into big meltdowns and severe anxiety. Tierney's nervous system was so stressed that her senses weren't communicating well with her brain. It's like having a broken volume control where the volume on your senses is way too high. She felt clothing sensations at such an intense level that it sent her body into fight or flight mode. But it wasn't just one instance that caused this, it was a buildup of stress over time that we call the perfect storm. Today, after specific chiropractic care that calmed and coordinated her nervous system, Tierney has a whole new wardrobe. And at 10 years old, we celebrate her wearing her very first pair of jeans. As Tierney says, she loves chiropractic care because it fixes the problem. So now that you know that this amazing story has happened, let's go deeper into understanding what's really going on. Your child's tantrums, sensory meltdowns, and behavioral challenges aren't character flaws or bad behavior. They're actually brilliant attempts made by your nervous system to communicate that something is wrong. 7.1% of children aged 3 to 17 have been diagnosed with anxiety and 9.4% with ADHD. 7.4% with behavioral problems. But the common thread is nervous system dysregulation. When the autonomic nervous system gets stuck in fight or flight mode, instead of smoothly transitioning between stress and calm states. When your child's nervous system is dysregulated, it affects everything from their ability to process sensory input to their emotional regulation, digestion, sleep, and immune function. This dysregulation doesn't happen overnight. It's typically the result of what we call the perfect storm of stressors that accumulate starting as early as pregnancy. The first piece is prenatal stress, where maternal stress hormones like cortisol cross the placental barrier and can alter the programming of your baby's developing nervous system. Birth trauma from interventions like C-sections, forceps, vacuum extraction, or prolonged labor can create physical stress and misalignments in the upper neck and brainstem area, interfering with critical brain-body communication pathways. Early childhood stressors like inadequate sleep, processed foods, environmental toxins, or even ordinary stressors can pile up in children with severe nervous systems and sensitivities in their nervous system, making it harder for them to find their footing. You may have tried dietary changes or probiotics for your child, but you're still struggling. There's likely a missing piece. The nervous system's foundational role is regulating digestion. This vagus nerve serves as a superhighway between your child's brain and digestive tract, controlling stomach acid production, muscle contractions that move food along, and the release of digestive enzymes. When the nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode, it puts the brakes on all of those crucial rest, regulate, and digest functions, which explains why gut focused interventions often feel like you're filling a leaky bucket. At PX Doc's offices, we use advanced insight scanning technology to objectively measure your child's nervous system function and identify specific areas of stress, tension, and dysregulation. These non-invasive scans include surface EMG to measure neuromuscular tension, thermography to assess autonomic nervous system function, and heart rate variability to evaluate nervous system balance and resilience. Through gentle, specific, neurologically focused chiropractic adjustments, we help restore optimal brain-body communication, allowing your child's nervous system to shift from dysregulation back to natural regulation and resilience. You can click on the link in our bio on Instagram to learn more about nervous system regulation.